Donald Whitney. And first of all, I want to thank the alumni, Parkway Alumni Association, for choosing me, I guess, one of the many recipients that are being honored tonight. My life is kind of interesting. It's carried me from St. Louis. I left when I was 16 and did a lot of traveling with Sports Illustrated. I ended up working for SI. We were branched out of the magazine out of New York. I worked with them for about 8 years, teaching tennis in different parts of the world, and ended up in the Caribbean probably the longest time, in the Dorado Miramar Beach hotels and Virgin Islands, and ran their operations down there. Moved to Atlanta in 1980, started a private company called Corporate Sports Unlimited, team building event organization. First year we did about 13 events. Today we do about 250 events a year. I've started several companies. One of the divisions of that company was our health club division. We started with one club. We now have 17 private health clubs, about 35,000 members in the Atlanta area. And I've opened most of the Ritz-Carlton hotels nationwide and do a lot of consulting for different spas and fitness centers. My passion, I know you asked that question, probably really comes being raised in a family with 6 brothers and 1 sister. I think God kind of laid something on my heart at an early age to care for children. I began sponsoring my first child in a relief organization, humanitarian organization, when I was 13. And today, Kathy and I, my wife and I, have 21 children that we support in ministries around the world. And this is going to lead up into what I'm about ready to say. In '94, I started a national road race called the United States 10K Classic. And it's an event that I created to bring awareness and funds to the plight of children. It's really kind of this thorn in my side that had been there for 30 years was beginning to be released. I had a successful business, got about 140 employees, and so God's blessed us abundantly. And all during this time, as our company was building, I wanted to give back and kind of make a difference person. And so began getting very involved in community of Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I'm from now, and born and raised here, but live in Atlanta. And the race, the first year, had about 5,000 athletes from about 30 countries. Last year, we had close to 12,000 athletes from 48 countries, 42 states, raised about $160,000 for local children. And we've contributed a little over $1 million into the welfare of children in the Atlanta area. That is leading to a facility that I've just recently built, our building, called the World Children's Center. It's a 700-acre community that we're building for homeless, orphan, neglected children from Georgia, the United States, and the world, called the World Children's Center. My years in St. Louis certainly have very fond memories here, being born and raised here. I had some wonderful parents that loved their children and brought us up in a home that gave us priorities of God first and family and education. And so I have a lot to thank to my high school principal, Al Burr, I think, who was one of the gentlemen that might have nominated me. Al always encouraged, I think, his students to do better. And I think as a young boy, that left certainly at 15, 16 years of age, it left an impression in my life. He loved tennis, and I did too, and he encouraged a lot of his students to do well in studies and in sports. But it's kind of where I am today. I'm married and very happily married, and have twin boys that are 11 that are with me tonight, and I'm just blessed. If I've had any success in my career, I think it comes from balancing my life, seeing the glass always half full instead of half empty. I grew up listening to Norman Vincent Peale, Robert Schuller, Dr. Billy Graham, and they were very influential in my life, I think. Very positive people that had a wonderful faith-based message. But if there was something that I could probably leave with young people today, would be making sure you hang with positive people. There's choices we all have to make, and you can hang with negative people or positive people, and they'll definitely it'll influence your life, and become a make a difference person, and seeing that glass always half full instead of half empty. The balance, I think, comes from successful people, in my opinion, really are able to balance their business, their family, their marriage, their children. And I think I have been very fortunate. In 15 years, I've always kept a date night with my wife every Thursday night. I have family night with my wife and children. They're priorities in my life, and so we have an opportunity to choose what direction we want to go. And those are important to me. My faith is very important to me, and my business is. I've got a lot of responsibility with 140 employees, and to be able to manage all that, you've got to have a balance in your life and make sure you understand where it all comes from.